we're at a pivotal point. And right now, even if it doesn't mean you're stepping into a particular leadership position, you have a role, you have a place in the making of this new world. Welcome back to Elevation 44, where we learn how to master our energy. It's your girl B, and if you're new, welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, welcome back, family. Happy to have you guys here again with me today. You already know what we're getting into by the title of this video. We're diving right into the upcoming Capricorn lunar eclipse, okay? So that is happening on Sunday, July 5th, okay? And I'm excited to talk about this particular eclipse for many reasons. One, it being the final eclipse in the whole Cancer and Capricorn eclipse series that kicked off in 2018. So since 2018, we have been experiencing a series of eclipses that all have been centered around Capricorn and Cancer, which is all about that work and life balance, okay? All that work and home, or the external facing and the internal facing, right? So that is what we've really been diving into these last couple of years. So now we are moving out of that, and this eclipse pretty much wraps all of that up. So I'm really excited to talk about that. I'm also gonna say even though I'm like holding on to the edge of my seat because Mars has officially moved into Aries, like it is on the move, okay? So we gotta hold on to our seats, but I'm enjoying this uptick of energy. Like, how are you guys feeling? Are you guys feeling that surge of energy come in as soon as Mars moved into Aries? Like, I felt it like a couple days prior, and then once it moved in officially, like it was like my energy level, which was good, went from here to like up here. Like it was through the roof. So if I'm a little bouncy and all over the place in this video, forgive me. Your girl is trying to pull it all down so that I can just get this information out to you. But I am loving the positive aspects of Mars moving into Aries, which is like that increased boost in energy, vitality, just focus, just drive, and just seeing something and going after your target. So if you watched my last video on the summer solstice, or you watch my video on the summer retrogrades, which I can plug down in the description box for you, you know I talked all about Mars at the time, which was in Pisces, and it being on a tranquilizer and hating that Pisces energy. But now the tranquilizer has worn off, the effects are off, and Mars, is on the move. So if you're feeling that boost, that's why, okay? But remember, on that video, in those videos, I also talked about the other things to look for with this energy, because, you know, life is all about duality, yin and yang, right? Positive and negative, light and dark. So with those positive aspects that come with Mars moving into Aries, also come some of the negative aspects. And that's why I said, let's hold on to our seats, because the next couple of months are going to be very interesting. But so far, I'm loving the boost of energy, okay? And without further ado, let's get into this Capricorn full moon eclipse video. If you are a Capricorn sign, Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, Cap rising, drop your little Capricorn sign below and let me know who you are. I am a Cap rising, and I love Capricorn energy. I'm also Saturn dominant, so I love the influence of Saturn on the chart. I know a lot of people, that's not a popular statement to make. Most people fear Saturn and don't like Saturn, which we'll get into in a minute, but Saturn rules Capricorn, so that's why I mentioned Saturn, by the way. But I love Saturn's energy. I love Capricorn energy because I can relate to it as a Cap rising. Again, there are positives and there are negatives. We'll get into both. But really, the theme of this eclipse is all about what? Can you guess? If we're wrapping up the work-life series and the public, facing versus the internal self, what we're wrapping up is that focus, really trying to make sure that we have identified what our contribution or our responsibility is in the world, to the community, to the external, okay? This is not about the internal. The last Cancer eclipse happened about a week ago when the summer solstice rolled through with that solar eclipse. That was the last of the Cancer and the internal. Now we're wrapping up the external, and it's so interesting because right now on the world stage, you're seeing the powers shift, right? The powers are shifting from from the haves to the have-nots, okay? There is a power shift happening. And so where do you fit in that? What is your responsibility? Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a role in the community, no matter how big or how small. So it is really taking this eclipse, and the eclipse is going to bring transformation and illumination in that specific area to make you really, if you have been hovering around, we're gonna zero in on this thing and land the plane, okay? So what we're trying to do is really really go into our emotions and figure out what is our purpose and our responsibility to our communities and how we are going to execute that, okay? So let's talk about the facts of Capricorn. We are talking about the element, which is Earth, okay? Its quality is cardinal, so that is the initiator, that is the starter. So Caps get it poppin', okay? The house that it rules is the 10th house, which is the house of career and public image, okay? So this is all going hand in hand right now. The planet, like I mentioned earlier, that rules Capricorn's energy is Saturn, and Saturn is all about, it gets a bad rap, honestly. I love Saturn energy, but Saturn is all about restriction. It's all about time. It's all about, foundation. It's all about business and government, and and structure. Like, we need structure. We need those railings or we'll just go wild, right? So this is a great time to utilize a lot of that energy to zero in on what we need to be focused on. And one thing I didn't mention in my previous videos, which I want to start mentioning going forward, is the polarity, okay? And so what a polarity is basically whatever sign or the energy on the opposite side of the zodiac wheel across from the sign. So it's like it's opposite energy, okay? So the opposite to Capricorn is Cancer, okay? So again, Capricorn is all about, external, your public self, your business, how you move about in the world and the community. And Cancer is the polarity, which is the exact opposite, which is all about the internal self, how you, move about in your internal life. It's about roots and family. And it's about structure and foundation, but in two completely separate realms. One being about your, the external, and one about being the internal, which is the home. So the polarity is Cancer. So I want to start mentioning the polarity so you guys can get a better feel for like how astrology works and how energies work to balance each other, because they're both equally important, okay? All right, so let's get into some of the gifts of Capricorn. We're talking about patient, hardworking, disciplined, practical, organized, determined, ambitious, reserved, classy, responsible, protective, passionate, creative, okay? Capricorns are very creative, and like I said, very driven, and will get things started and keep it moving, okay? So that Capricorn energy is such a great influence. So I hope you guys utilize this eclipse to bring some of that in to help you guys zero in, okay? Now, some of the challenges, because we're all about, presenting both sides of the spectrum here. The challenges are overly cautious, cold, critical, unforgiving, suspicious, pessimistic, materialistic, and prideful, okay? So it's a balancing act. It's a balancing act. You take the good with the bad. You keep in mind what the bad can be if you tip too much over on that scale. So you have to consistently balance and be aware of the energies at hand, okay? So let's talk about the best use of this energy, or the overall focus that we should be paying attention to and working on with this energy in particular. So like I introed, I told you guys that right now it's all about looking within and seeing self. Am I fulfilling my responsibility or playing my role or my position in the entire spectrum of things to my community, okay? So right now we're in an interesting point, right? Like I said before, it's like there's a shift of power, like leadership is shifting, okay? And so we're at a pivotal point, and right now, even if it doesn't mean you're stepping into a particular leadership position, you have a role, you have a place in the making of this new world, right? In the making of the new rules, the new structure, the new society, okay? That is going to be born out of all of this, because don't kid yourself. This whole thing that you're seeing that was built is crumbling. That foundation has Saturn and Pluto have been working to tear that stuff down, okay? So what we're seeing is the crumbling of the old and a restructuring in a sense, and something new being born out of it. And now everybody has a role to assume in that particular order. Now let's talk about some of the transits that are going to be happening. And when I talk about transits, if anyone here is new to astrology, transits just mean where the planets are at the exact moment that the eclipse or the full moon is happening. So just whatever their current positions are on that particular date. So that's what I mean when I say transits, okay? So we're going to talk about just, I want to say, let's talk about 4 transits that I think are important, and these are all aspecting or communicating with the moon specifically. If I talked about all of the planets on the chart, we'll be here all night. So I am not going to do that. I'm just going to talk about the ones that the moon or the eclipse is going to really be impacting or working with at the greatest. So the first one is that the moon will be conjuncting, and when I say conjunct, I just mean that they're joining forces, okay? So the moon will be joining forces with Jupiter. And a lot of these, before I get into this, I'll say a lot of these transits that are happening at the time of the eclipse are actually very positive. So again, lots of good energy to come in and help us land this plane, okay? So the first one is the moon is going to be joining forces with Jupiter, and Jupiter is currently retrograding again through the sign of Capricorn, because we still have a lot of planets in retrograde. Even though Venus is now direct, we have 5 planets in retrograde right now. So there's still a lot happening, still a lot of internal things happening as these planets move backward, okay? So with the moon joining forces with Jupiter, okay, we have some feel-good energy coming in, okay? That's gonna help us feel happy and content. It's a great time for socializing. We're gonna have a lot of good optimism and good fortune. So when we talk about optimism and good fortune, and we talk about building new business and finding our role in society and building up what the new society looks like, right? And the business services and products and things that we need to provide to make that possible, this is the kind of energy that we need to bless all of that, okay? And to set us off in the right direction, okay? So things started now should be successful, okay? If you have good intentions behind it. So you need to make sure that your intentions are pure and good, okay? Because that's why the old way of doing things and the old structures and the old way of business and stuff and government is crumbling, because it was not done with the best intentions, okay? It was done to cheat the people, and now we have a chance to actually, put this and change the direction of this and make it much more beneficial to everyone. So you have to have the right intentions going into it. But with the right intentions going into it, this energy is gonna bless us with success, okay? Yes, it's gonna be hard. Yes, we're gonna have to have challenges and things that come up in place, but if we can stay the course, which this energy is helping us do, then we are going to get there, okay? The next thing that is happening is that the moon is also joining forces with Saturn, and Saturn is retrograding in Capricorn as well. Now, what this means is that this is going to help us tap into our subconscious so that we internally review our own structures and foundations that we are building on, okay? So now it's a good time for us to reevaluate and set our goals on how, with more focus and clarity, okay? So that is like, again, talking to everything that I've already been, telling you guys about landing this plane, seeing exactly where our target is and going, okay? There's no more playing around. There's no more like floating in la la land. I don't know. Like a lot of you are already like, with all of this thing that happened with a particular virus that ran rampant, right? A lot of you have already been popping off and starting your side businesses, getting in conversation and getting together with other people, pooling resources, putting things together. A lot of you already know what your role is. And some of you are just being held back by your own personal feelers or naysayers or other people talking in your ear and your own self-doubts. But once you work through those things, which you will be able to do with this energy, you're gonna see that those are all false illusions, and that you are able and capable to do anything that you set your mind to, okay? This is the ideal time to make it happen. So the flip side of that though, because I'm always give you the good and I'm always give you the challenges, right? Is that we can have issues with status control and authority. So we can have challenges in those departments. So watch that when, we're using this energy to our advantage. Watch for those control issues, watch for those authority issues and stuff that could be coming in as we, try to break free, right? We're trying to get out and bust out of the cocoon. And, sometimes they just want to hold us down and hold us back. So that's very possible, especially with Mars being in Aries, that can make things a little bit aggressive and a little bit more hot-tempered during this time. So watch for all of that and watch it on your end as well. The next thing that I'll be talking about, the next transit, is that the moon will also be joining forces with Pluto. And Pluto is also retrograding through the sign of Capricorn. So we have Saturn, we have Pluto, and we have Jupiter in Capricorn. Saturn was briefly in Aquarius and then it retrograded and went back into Capricorn because it needs to do its final teardown. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm telling you guys, things are going to change. We are stepping into a new era. It's not going to look what it used to look like. Things are never going back to the way they used to be. Never, okay? So that's why I'm telling you guys to really focus and really find your place in all of this. Now, with the moon and Pluto joining forces, there are a little bit of troubles that come up here. So we can have trouble focusing and we can have overwhelming deep feelings, that things that are buried in our subconscious, like things that are deeply buried, could be coming to the surface at this time. This is going to also trigger obsessive and addictive behaviors and jealousy. So we just want to make sure that we watch for those things. Things coming to the surface is not always a bad thing, because I believe if you don't bring things out of the subconscious to the surface, you can't fully heal. So this is a great time for healing, but then you also want to watch some of those other things that I talked about, because we don't want to get down no addictive path or obsessive path and jealous path. And with Mars being in Aries, we have to be so careful of those things because they can go left so quickly, okay, and escalate so quickly. And the last aspect that I'm going to be talking about is that the moon will be making a good aspect to Neptune, okay? So with this, it means that we'll be more in touch with our feelings because our emotions will be heightened. We'll also be more in tune with the environment and other people. Our intuition and psychic abilities are going to be on 10, all right? Our creativity is going to be on point, and this is just an overall great time for making connections with other people. So when we talk about, getting aligned with people who have a similar vision, working together on projects, on businesses, pooling our resources together to make it happen, if those conversations have already been in the works, this is a great time to finalize or make those things solid and crystal clear, okay? And your intuition will be leading you and guiding you into the right spaces that you need to be. So just listen to your intuition, follow your inner voice, and get connected to your inner self and to your emotions and to what's deep within inside of you, what's really moving you, okay? So this is this is a lot of positive energy that we're dealing with, and a lot of prime energy that's gonna make for some real positive transformation, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to get into are the rituals. And I really only have one ritual to give you this time because I feel like this is the most important ritual you should do. So I just kind of like X'd out the others. If you watch my summer solstice video, I talked about doing a money and abundance ritual during that time. Now, this is the same ritual I'm going to talk about this time because this money and abundance ritual, and when I talk about money and abundance, the thing about abundance, I don't think of just money, so I say money and abundance because abundance could be abundance in health, abundance in happiness, abundance in love, abundance in resources that are outside of money in terms of people, opportunities, all kinds of things, right? It just doesn't have to be money. And so this is a opportune time, just like the summer solstice and solar eclipse, to really call that in. So I apologize, my camera ran out of space. I had to clear my memory card. But what I was saying is, number one, the reason why the energy is prime for this right now is that the energy of the summer solstice and solar eclipse that just happened is going to still be lingering. It's still lingering and it's still in the air, okay? Not only that, Jupiter, which is joining forces with the moon, which we talked about, and the sun opposite Jupiter is bringing opportunities for success, good fortune, and increased happiness. So a money and abundance ritual is like the only ritual you should be doing at this time, okay? I don't care what kind of abundance you're calling in, just call in some type of abundance into your life. Now, I'm going to say this again, make sure that your intentions are good behind it, make sure that they are pure, because as fast as it comes in is as fast as you can lose it if the intentions are not pure, okay? So we always want to make sure that we're doing things with the best intentions, for the greater good, all right? Some of the herbs that you can work with during this time: mullein, thyme, mint, and comfrey. Now, the mullein is great for protection and grounding. Thyme is also going to be very, very important if you're calling in money or calling in abundance. Mint is going to help you focus and everything like that. And then the comfrey is also great for money and bringing in that abundance and calling things into your sphere, okay? So these are the herbs that I suggest that you work with. Now, some of the crystals that you can work with, and let me grab some that I have here. Let me start with the ones that I have to show you. And the first one is, let's see if I can get that to focus. This is the first one, which is garnet. And garnet is great for ambition and focus, okay? So as we're pulling in that Capricorn energy and you want to work with that Capricorn and you want to double down, I would definitely use garnet for that purpose. Another one is fluorite. Yeah, there we go. There's fluorite, and fluorite is great because fluorite is for that responsible and that being reliable, and just a lot of those Capricorn traits of being hardworking and just hunkering down and getting it done. So fluorite is a good one for that. And then the last one I'm going to show you is pyrite. And pyrite is also known as fool's gold. Now, if you're going to do your money and abundance rituals, this is the crystal to use, okay? So if you are going to do a money ritual, I would definitely use thyme and comfrey as the herbs, and then also use pyrite, okay? This is helps you call in abundance and money, right? It helps you attract that, but it also helps boost your own willpower, okay? Because like I said, some of you might be faltering, like you have an idea, but you're too afraid to take a step. And when I say take a step, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, like completely chuck everything that I have to the side. I'm just talking about making moves and making it a reality and putting a plan in place and taking steps in that direction. So pyrite is gonna help you with that, okay? So it's gonna strengthen your mind and your willpower. Some of the other ones I don't have to show you, actually only one that I don't have to show you, which is smoky quartz. And that is good for being grounded, protected, and staying organized, okay? So these are all the crystals that I would recommend working with at this time. And last but not least, I'm always gonna plug my products, okay? So I have the Capricorn Eclipse tea here, and this will be available on the website starting July 6th. You actually can go in now and place pre-orders for this, but it won't ship out till July 6th. And this tea right here will make sure that you can work with this energy long after it has dissipated, and it can also help. It has some of the herbs that we talked about in it, and it's charged with the best intentions. Like, you're gonna feel that energy ripping through you right away, and it's really gonna help you focus and really help you get to where you need to go as far as here internally, and then making that a reality externally. So I'm always gonna plug the tea. You know where to get it. I will plug the link down below. That's all I really have for you guys today. I hope you found this video helpful. I know that you guys really like these videos. If there's other things that you would like me to talk about, other suggestions that you have for these, you know, these full moon videos, or the, you know, when we talk about the solar eclipses or the solstices, there are other things that you would like to know about in these videos, drop them in the comments below. I'm always open to suggestions, okay? Because I want to help you guys succeed. I want everybody to be thriving and doing well. That is my purpose, okay? For everybody to heal and to be thriving and living on purpose, and us doing this all together. And this is why I do this, right? I could be doing anything else with my time, but I do this because I'm really driven by it. So I love you guys. Have a great eclipse, lunar eclipse. I hope that you guys are able to really see clearly with this, and I know that the transformation that is about to happen, not only internally but externally with the entire world, is going to be something serious. Like 2021, woo! Okay, we'll talk about that when we get closer, but it is going to be interesting for sure. This is the new era, and I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as well. See you in the next video. Peace.